But for now, we take you all the way to the Ashanti region, where our Middle Belt Bureau Chief Hafiz Tijani tells us about how residents in Yeboakrom are frustrated due to the lack of electricity in the area. Don't go away.
27-year-old Abina Fowa living in Yeboakrom is both stressful and monotonous due to the lack of basic amenities. Like many others in the community, she must walk to nearby towns just to charge her phone or store perishable goods. She describes how the absence of electricity has made life increasingly difficult for residents.
Oh, light in some day had dream baby. Solar na baha no solar no native the tone niema emenye kakra e ton so drains it mtwa block ma the next ayi for beto to ko by lighting here nti no mu nyina atwam ivia ye wa akora no ye phone kura bedumu a just ye call the next town ye ko charge your phones bi e bibia ta just the next town e be ko ah ni hwe wa kun kola no teachers for no lighting here nti no ama se ye postu amokura baha no mona light ni ya to hakuro mi anamu mpahatena so mo sa tiska ko rent dan e the next town ansa na wa firi ho abekere nkola na denti ama nkola na desua na kora no eni musa maye.
The most pressing concern for Yeboakrom residents are the lack of electricity and the poor road network. Additionally, access to clean water remains a challenge, largely because the community is not connected to the national grid.
In life, light is everything. Otherwise, God will not even create day and night. Night has what to do, and the day has what to do. So we plead with them that they give us light and the road. That is what we are praying for.
I think can you assume about a better woman in it? See, I'm not women, I'm also apple. The dwelling will say, Person the Bassa, baby. It's yes, someone to have Mamma, young canyon near Quayma, near Bobo, Bele.
The previous Akufo-Addo-led administration claimed to have achieved over 80% electricity coverage in Ghana, yet communities like Yeboakrom remain without power. In 2019, Professor Rexford Asasiopon, an architecture professor at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, spearheaded a project to provide solar panels for the community. This initiative was funded by DAD Germany through the Technical University of Munich. However, the solar system was later disconnected due to excessive demand on the panels.
In 2019-2020, when I came here, in fact, when I did the search and realized that there was a community like this, I myself was surprised. Because the first time I drove here, as I said, from the main road, it took me less than 10 minutes to get here from the main road. But they were in total darkness. I mean, they had not seen light before at all.
Professor Opon has since introduced new initiatives to raise funds aiming to connect Yeboakrom to the national grid.
The power. So what we have done now is to now get the community 2 fridges, which is going to serve one for, let's say, producing ice water, ice cubes to sell, and one could also be used for meat or fish, cold storage to serve the community, so that whatever comes out of it as a community, it will be used to maintain this facility.
In response, residents have taken matters into their own hands by pooling resources to purchase electricity poles as part of a self-help project. Community leaders are now urging the government to intervene, provide electricity, and improve their roads.
Senipa boni phobia kra ba na etubo ya be no afa body mu amani tuamo hwe body fo ya wo ya eni fichira ha unhu ni pakro to se kanea wo hade a obi di bone kura wotimi yeden ehun sase machine yeden ekuri nsuo nto yemponi o na nsuo beto so to aka anko kama se ya domfo bi ebetimi aboa ya ne a omomo ye ide adesrede na oman nyina de to oman Ghana nim so omomo ye.
For now, the people of Yeboakrom continue to live without electricity, waiting for much needed support to change their reality.
Wow, so that is a story in Yeboakrom in the Ashanti region of Ghana, where residents in the community are unable to use any form of electrical appliances due to the lack of electricity access in the area. Our Middle Belt Bureau Chief Hafiz Tijani, who was in the community and filed the story, joins us on the line to give us some more insights and details into this rather, I would say, unfortunate development in Yeboakrom in the Ashanti region. Good morning, Hafiz, and welcome to Sunday Breakfast.
Good morning, Mr. Duncan.
I hope you are keeping well, sir.
I'm well. How are you too?
I'm doing well. You know, just as you left me, you know, the last time you were in Accra, you didn't do the needful. You know, you didn't, and you know what I'm talking about, but we'll keep that and discuss it later.
I feel so lost.
Yeah, it's between Hafiz and myself.
Oh, wow.
Don't worry, we'll rope you in.
Okay.
Hafiz, let's talk about residents in Yeboakrom. We understand that for months now, and for a very long time, let me say, they've been without electricity supply in the area. What is the state of affairs in Yeboakrom? Hello, Hafiz.
Yeah, Mr. Duncan, I can hear you.
Yes, so my question to you was with regards to the state of affairs with regards to electricity supply and other essential services in Yeboakrom.
Okay, so this community, so when you are using the Duan Pompon, it's just when you are traveling on the Kumasi Accra highway, you get to Duan Pompon. You are entering into the community to Yeboakrom. So you are driving about 15 minutes to 20 minutes from the main Accra Kumasi highway into the Yeboakrom community. So you are using like 15 to 20 minutes. It's not it's just close to the main stretch. But the people do not know why they still are not connected to the national grid. They have tried to get the authorities to connect them to the national grid, but it has not been possible. So when these researchers went into the community, they were even taken aback and saying that this is just a community that is close to the main Kumasi Accra highway. And it's surprising that the community is not still connected to the national grid. And you find this interesting because other communities, adjoining communities, have electricity. So it is surprising to know that people living in Yeboakrom do not still have electricity and are not connected to the national grid. And they are located within the Joabin municipality. And it's not an outskirts, sort of maybe a village, if I should say, of a community that is not connected to the national grid. Bringing electricity poles from Joabin to Yeboakrom will not take you more than 30 minutes, or connecting them will not take some time. So the people are not happy that they are not still connected. So it was until these researchers went into the community and then they find out that the community is grappling with this situation, and they had to make this intervention of providing them with solar. But when the solar came, because they had yearned for electricity for a long time, they thought that that was the permanent solution for them. So they had to use the electricity for other interventions, like using their fridge, their television set, their other equipment and all that. But the solar was there to give them an interim solution. Talk of providing them with a solution to charge their phones and also keep their perishable goods for the meantime, to freeze them and use them. But the people were thinking that this was a permanent solution. So they went to one of the homes and found out that someone was using electric iron, this same person was using television set, this same person was using a fridge, and it was
So the load, yes.
Yes, the load was affecting the capacity of this solar plant. So later, the people who were managing the solar plant got to know that there was distortions and they didn't understand. So they had to carry out this investigation on a fact-finding mission. They went on a fact-finding mission to find out that this was the problem. So they had to come with a solution by disconnecting the solar panel and ensuring that the residents were explained they told them about the intervention and that they shouldn't use those things. Then they understood. But as we speak now, the community has returned to darkness because the solar panel is not able to supply that to them. But there's an intervention they have brought in 2 fridges for the establishment where the facility is situated, so that when you want to charge your phone, you bring your phone to the area where the solar panel is connected. Then you charge your phone, and then later with the fridge, you can come and store your perishable items.
Interesting. So if I get you correctly, these solar panels that were put in place for the community members was from the DAD Germany Technical University in Munich. They sponsored these solar panels in 2019, if I get you correctly.
Yes, exactly.
At what point did we realize that these solar panels put in place by the German Academic Exchange Service, we understand it's a project funded by this group, at what point did we find out that these solar panels did not have the required load capacity for these residents to be using certain electrical appliances not suitable for the solar panels?
And let me chip this question in, Hafiz. Did they have prior engagements with the community when they put in these solar panels to discuss what they can and cannot use?
Okay, so anyway, let me answer your question before I attend to Mr. Duncan's question. So the community, when the people came to install this solar panel, they didn't tell them that this was the purpose. You couldn't use it for this or that. They only thought that because the community didn't have lights, so they were just providing it for them to use for maybe keeping the lights on, like the bulbs and all that. And the problem was that, posting teachers there, they posted teachers, people were really reluctant to accept postings. Yeah. And the study also find out that students were lagging behind in terms of their study. So they thought that if they provided the solar panels that could use to power their bulbs and then provide them with the lights for the students to study and do other things. But this communication was not given to them. That's why the community members went ahead to use it for these purposes. And to answer Mr. Duncan's question, so the study was done in 2019. So up to 2021, the solar panel was functioning very well. So in the middle of 2021, they came back to check the viability of the project and also to check how beneficial the project was to the community. Then they realized that one of the terminals broke down, and they checked the other panel that was also giving them issues. So they had to embark on this research or investigation to be able to bring out this problem and seeing that this was the problem that was affecting the supply or the usage of the solar panels.
All right, Hafiz, hold on for us. We have Adama Barurin Al-Hassan. He's the assembly member for Duampompo electoral area in the Ashanti region where Yeboakrom is located. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Al-Hassan.
Good morning, and good morning to your viewers and listeners.
Mr. Al-Hassan, I can assume the impact of the no electricity in your area. I assume that you've also spoken to people in authority. First of all, what are your residents saying? I'm sure they take part in elections. And then tell me what authorities have been saying about connecting Yeboakrom to the national grid.
Okay. It's been, that was on 2023 that I was elected as a assembly member for the electoral area. And when I came, I saw that Yeboakrom didn't have lights. So it was one of my major concerns. Not even only Yeboakrom, but the topic is on Yeboakrom. But Yeboakrom didn't have lights. Then we have to push it to authorities, that's the assembly. And then the parliamentary candidate for Jaben, that's the Honorable Francis Owusu, in discussion with him on our challenge not having light for Yeboakrom. So we discussed with him, and then recently, that was last week Thursday, I went to him again in that issue. He made me aware that he have discussed with the energy minister, and then he has told him to give him some time because he was just sworn into office. So that have been steps that we have taken so far. With the community, Yeboakrom, ever since there have been so many calls, issues on our lighting system, and then especially their worries and concerns are there that students and peoples of that area are having challenge in terms of their learning or their education. So that have been a major concern as to how I'll ensure that we get light for the people of my electoral area to let people also benefit in terms of their education or getting access to quality education.
Mr. Al-Hassan, the concern really for a lot of people is that residents in the area were not given the necessary education as to appliances and other electrical gadgets they could have used at the time the stopgap measure of solar panels were put in place for your residents. Is it the case really that residents did not know into details the appliances they were supposed to have used in the meanwhile when the solar panels were brought to you?
Yes, that is why I said I assumed office in 2023. But at the time I was assuming office, we have already had the challenge of the breakdown. But then, prima concern, I don't know the partners, the agreement they signed with them. But then I, in collaboration with the assembly, we assessed that one of the major concern was maintenance. And then the maintenance, I don't know how the agreement they did all right, but then we're looking at sustainability of the lighting system there. So we're looking at maintenance, and maintenance as well goes with cost. So therefore, I didn't know the arrangement that went on, but we were looking at it that if there were a form of tariff that was given to them to also ensure that something is being drawn out of it, so that we could use that one to assist if there's any challenge that goes on. So that was what
Please go on.
Yeah, that was what I observed. That is why I said when I came with the engagement with them as what appliances they are supposed to use. That one, at the time the solar was installed, I was not in office by then.
Good.
So I didn't know exactly the discussion that went on.
So now they still have to deal with the challenge, unfortunately. Are you able to give us any assurances to begin with of when this problem would be effectively resolved with regards to bringing electricity in the community long term? And are you able to also give us some timelines as to when you intend on solving or rectifying this issue for community members?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think we have taken steps where we have self-help projects that is being championed with the assembly member and then the chief of the electoral area, where electricity poles have been acquired, where other materials have been acquired. Recently, we have a challenge. We seek for approval from the district director to give us the opportunity to grant the national grid from Boamadumasi to Yeboakrom so that the people can get access to it. But then there have been a slight challenge where a communique came from, we don't know where, but we called back. But then they should suspend the work for some time. So I discussed that with my coordinating director in that regard. So he called the line, and the officer said he didn't say we should suspend the work. But then he was asking who gave the approval for us to do to join the national grid or the hydro to Yeboakrom. So that was where the whole work stopped. But as of now, I'm speaking to you, we have all materials available to ensure that we join the national grid from the nearby community.
Are you able to give us timelines as to when you intend on doing this?
That is why we are saying that if authorities give us approval today, because we have even with that holes to put in the poles, and we had that communique to suspend the work.
When you say
approval is being given,
can you help us a bit? When you say authorities, who exactly are you referring to?
But then, what I'm saying authority is that we spoke to the district director of ECG at Joseph, and then that communique came that we should suspend because he had a call from the headquarters to hold on or something like that. That is what I was told. So if today the director gives us the approval, I think we even dug the hole and then wanted to start. We can even within a week or two, this light will be provided because all materials have been given, or we have all materials available to join from Boamadumasi to Yeboakrom. So if approval is given by the district director to proceed, within a week or two, we should be able to complete the lighting system.
Mr. Al-Hassan, I also realize that aside electricity, water and your roads are also a challenge in the community. I'm sure you've spoken to authorities. What are they saying about that as well?
I'm most grateful you've asked this question. Even when we are talking about I'm starting from the lighting system. When we're even talking about the lighting system, I'm telling you, since the creation of this world, 2025 years, some communities within my electoral area have not seen light. We have about 2025 years. A community like Amangwase, community like Bankroso, and a lot of communities have not seen the national grid or even a solar for their entire life up to date.
Wow.
So we have a lot of challenge that we are trying to embark on, even though some of these things have been discussed with the assembly and then the MP. We are looking at how they also will come to assist us. But because Yeboakrom have already been wired, we are looking at getting light for them is much easier than the rest of the communities. So we have a lot of communities that is having the same challenge. Currently, we also have a community called Wana, which have solar by EEK and then the German company. They are currently using that. But we have about 4 communities with a population no less than 1,000 that do not have light as of now. That is even a major challenge for electricity. Putting that one aside, coming to our roads, I think in the whole of Jabin, if I'm not lying, we have the biggest electoral area and we have the major concerns in terms of road network. All farm produce coming from Yeboakrom, Wana, Amangwase to the market we have here, which is at Boamadumasi. These communities have a lot of challenge in terms of their road network because there's a very big bridge there called Bankro. If it rains like this, people could not bring their farm produce from these communities to the market to sell. At the end of the day, you could see that all these farm produce are being rotten, spoiled. Instead of this item getting to the market for people to buy and send them to Kumasi and other places. Because if you're looking at the whole Jabin, that market, is the Boamadumasi market, is the biggest market in Jabin. As now we are talking about, it's one of the biggest markets in Jabin. So all this farm produce cannot reach the market because of road network. It's only dry season that I think is okay. They are able to do their trading okay. Oh, all right. But then when it's rainy season, we have a very big challenge. Even if a car cannot go there, even a motorbike, you cannot go there. That is the issue. Even to the extent of the issue of education, sometimes teachers move from other towns to Yeboakrom. Teachers are not able to even go to Yeboakrom to go and teach students because of our road network when it rains.
All right.
Aside our road network, we have a lot of challenges. One could also talk about there's no even water in Yeboakrom.
Wow.
It was during election.
These are very serious challenges you are raising.
It was during election that one parliamentary candidate was able to come and dig 3 boreholes for us.
Yeah.
And that is why the people of Yeboakrom is rely on. Talking about a place of convenience, toilet facility. Yeboakrom, with a population of less than 500, 600, do not have a toilet facility. I want maybe if your team could come and have a witness to this. This applies to a community like Grand Pompo. We equally don't have a toilet facility. It is about my intervention and the chiefs that we are doing self-help projects, and major of the funding is coming from me. And we are putting up a toilet facility in Biampo. So Biampo currently don't have toilets. Wana don't have toilets. We are also doing the same community-based project there. All this community within the electoral area do not have a toilet facility, apart from one community called Wamadumasi. They only have 2 toilet facilities. So there's a major challenge within my electoral area. Very, very.
Clearly, the tax is quite enormous, and we hope that you are able to, work with the relevant stakeholders, including your elected member of parliament, the regional minister, and all other essential role players to ensure that very basic amenities are brought to community members in the area. But thank you so much for your time, Mr. Adama Al-Hassan, who is the assembly member for the Duan-Pompo electoral area. We'll follow up keenly on some of the developments, particularly on electricity and other social amenities in the area. But thank you for your time. Earlier on, you also heard Middle Belt Bureau Chief Hafiz Tijani also throw more light on the situation in the Yeboakrom community, where over 600 to 700 residents in the area don't have electricity. The big story is that an earlier solar panel, infrastructure that was put in place in 2019 through a fund by a German institution, a technical university in Germany, would later become a white elephant, really, because residents started using appliances that were not fit for purpose, and that will lead to the breakdown of the solar panel. And now residents have to deal with the problem of a lack of electricity in the area. The assembly member tells us that if you go to other parts of the electoral area, residents have never seen electricity at all. And this, for me, is quite shocking. Very briefly, when
let me let TJ go before you. Okay. Hafiz, thank you so much. As you heard from the assembly member, you have more work to do with regards to other social amenities.
Exactly. But Hafiz, just very briefly, right?
Yes.
On the toilet, I didn't even know you're on the line. Thank you. On the lack of toilet facilities in the area, I quite recall when the regional minister was on the point of view with Bernard the other time, he mentioned that for a constituency as big as Adansia Sokwa, one of the reasons why the member of parliament lost the election was because of a lack of toilet facilities, in the area. I'm now hearing it also from the assembly member, how some communities don't have, so how big of a problem is this, toilet facilities issue, open defecation in the Ashanti region? Maybe very briefly before you take leave of us.
So when you go to most areas, that is the problem you find. So you go to areas like the Akumadan areas and the outskirts, areas within the outskirts of the Kumasi metropolis. These are some of the issues you find. But usually people are not talking about this issue because they live in the outskirts. They can easily go to the bushes to find a place of convenience. But you get them talk about issues like electricity, water, and roads because these are not readily available for them or to them, and they are not concentrating or focusing more on the toilet facility or the places of convenience because they have an alternative. they equally go to the bush to make themselves so comfortable. And these are widespread issues within areas outskirts of the Kumasi metropolis. And these are serious issues when you go to these communities. Like Yeboakrom, the assembly member just mentioned, it's just Yeboakrom, but he has also been revealing some of the areas who are not having some of these basic amenities to live their life. And people will tell you that living in Yeboakrom is so stressful. So most of them, they come there over the weekend, come to visit their family members, but they live at other places. They have gone out of the place to rent in or to rent facilities outside of Yeboakrom because they can't live there because of the challenges they face at Yeboakrom.
So grateful for your time, Hafiz Tijani, who is our Middle Belt Bureau Chief for ChannelOne TV, bringing us some insights into happenings in Donkokrom. And also towards the end, we asked him about the problem of open defecation in Ashanti region, which seems to be, a major recurring theme. And we'll take a quick break now. When we are back, we have an exciting, adventure for you right here on Sunday Breakfast. We are going to teach you how to keep fit so that you can, start the year, in some really good shape and form. Don't go away. We have a lot more coming your way right here on Breakfast, Sunday Breakfast.